And we are back. Pokemon Fire Red, Hardcore Nuzlocke, only using Bug-type Pokemon for this run. So the first bug we can catch is in Route 2, and it's going to be the Caterpie here. We're going to go with the Bug's Life nicknames, and let's see if we can get past Brock with his Rock-type Pokemon. It's not going to be easy, but I think we can do it. Our second team member is going to be found in Viridian Forest. It's going to be the Weedle here, so we're going to have the Caterpie. We're going to have the Weedle, so it's going to be a 2v2 against Brock. All right, so after going to the drawing board on how we're going to defeat Brock, as one Rock Tomb is definitely going to kill Butterfree, and potentially two Rock Tombs will kill Beedrill. And on top of that, we don't really have a great way to hit them offensively either, so we're really going to have to lean into this strategy. We're going to paralyze the Geodude, and then Flick here, our Butterfree, is going to get 6 Hardens. We're going to get that defense all the way up, so the only obstacle we're going to face here is a critical hit Rock Tomb, because other than that, Brock really has nothing against this strategy. So if we get crit, it is all over. We're probably going to wipe and we're going to have to reset, but if we don't, we're going to walk out of here with the first gym badge. As the Geodude continues to rain down tackles here, Geodude thankfully does not have Rock Tomb, only Onix does, which is really huge. So the paralysis is down, the confusion is here, we 2-tap, and now Butterfree is primed and ready with a +6 defense going against the Rock Snake himself. And on top of that, we learn Sleep Powder upon level up, so we're going to have that in the back pocket as well. So with Compound Eyes, Butterfree Sleep Powder is a roughly 97%, but we go straight for the confusion. We don't need to put the Onix to sleep. We are risking the crit. We don't even care. The 24 HP holds on. Flick drops back, holds on to a tackle as well. Only 2 damage off the top with the Harden. The confusion comes down. Onix is struggling. Does Onix hurt himself? And yes, he does. And we take the first gym badge. A little bit risky, but I will take it. And that leads us to Mount Moon, where we find our third team member waiting for us. It's Paris, it's raining, it's the city of love, it's the tiny little bug here. And Paris actually gets access to Spore, which is the God mode version of Sleep Powder, as it does not miss. So we will take it. Gotta watch out for that 4 times weakness in fire and flying, but that is 3 members on the team. It is at this point in the run where I think of myself more highly than I should, as I tend to do, and Staryu comes down. We send out Flick the Butterfree, leveled up all the way to the top so we can get that level 22 upon beating the star. So here we go. We got the Sleep Powder down. We have our, we have our Beedrill in the back, and as you saw there, I completely neglected Paris. I was like, bro, I don't want to switch train you. I don't need you, and you're going to find out real quick that that is going to be the bane of my existence. As we get a fadeaway critical hit, the Twin Needle comes down and Staryu drops. No problem there. We get the level up on both of our starting Pokemon here, our third evolutions of the starting bugs here, and the Water Pulse comes down, and unfortunately Starmie gets confusion, and somebody didn't give our single person berry to the Beedrill, so now we are absolutely on the back foot. We potentially die to a Water Pulse. We're definitely dead to crit, and if we hurt ourselves in confusion, we die there as well. So we're going to go all in on the swap here to Butterfree. Flick comes down, tanks the Water Pulse on the swap, does a little bit better than the Beedrill. Another Water Pulse comes down, though we're not faster, and we get fadeaway crit. Butterfree goes down, and the negligence, the absolute negligence, as Starmie completely flexes. We hold on to a Water Pulse, we get a monstrous Twin Needle, and it's a 2-tap, and we fade away, but we lose Butterfree. And because we can only get 5 or 6 Pokemon in the entire run, I do believe we just reset from here. All right, so I end up just resetting. I didn't want to live in a world where Butterfree didn't exist anymore. So our second attempt here, we go for one of my favorite nicknaming themes in the towns and cities of the environment or the region that you are in, and Cerulean pops off here. Butterfree doing absolute work. We have the same strategy against Brock here. We take down the Geodude, we have the maxed out defense, the Onix comes down, and the Rock Tomb crits through the Hardened, and that means Onix is hungry for more. Another Rock Tomb comes down, and our team is absolutely annihilated. On to the third attempt. And that means it's time for our third attempt, our third try against Brock. This time we have Hell's Paradise nicknames, one of my favorite animes that is coming out this year. It is such a good show. I'm so invested. So Yuzu is popping off. We get the Sleep Powder. We've been here before. This feels like deja vu. The Geodude goes down, and this time we're going to play it a little bit safer. We get the Sleep Powder down, just giving us a little bit more time. And that way, if Onix can't use Rock Tomb, then it definitely can't can't crit us. But as you can see, our special attack isn't quite as good as the other attempts, but no problem. Onix is sleeping on the job, and Yuzu takes it all. We beat Brock, and the third attempt is officially underway. So we make our way back to Misty, and we have learned from our mistakes. The Staryu comes down, and we have Butterfree ready to go. We get the sleep powder. Staryu is going to be a means to an end as she is sleeping on the job now. We can lay down a confusion. We can swap in. It really just depends what we want to do. But the Staryu wakes up after one turn here, gets a nice water pulse down, so we drop back for another sleep powder. And again, the compound eyes basically making sleep powder have 100% accuracy, which is absolutely glorious. We're really going to lean into that throughout this run. As we swap into Sagiri, we get a focus energy down, raising our critical hit chance. On top of that, Staryu uses recover, so we didn't have to risk the confusion from water pulse. We get a monstrous crit on Twin Needle, and since Twin Needle hits twice, it raises that critical chance each time for each attack, which is beautiful. Sagiri gets to level 22 upon swapping in, upon taking down the Staryu. The Starmie drops back with a water pulse. Thankfully, no confusion comes down. We get 2 Twin Needle procs in, no critical hit, which is fine though, because Misty goes in for the super potion, giving us another chance to rinse repeat with the Twin Needles. We drop back, no critical hits once again, so we're gonna have to tank this water pulse off the top. It doesn't crit, it doesn't confuse, and we take down Misty. That is 2 gym badges, bugs only. Let's go. And with Brock and Misty behind us, we don't have another gym battle right away, but it is the rival fight here. He sends out the Pidgeotto, level 17, looking fantastic, and could definitely be trouble given that flying typing against our bugs. The sleep powder still lands after the sand attack, that accuracy drop, not deterring Yuzu in the slightest, and now Pidgeotto is sleeping on the job. The confusion comes down. Looks like we might need 1 or 2 more to finish the job on the bird here, and Pidgeotto does hold on with about 1 HP to his name, but continues to sleep, continues to take a nap, and our rival loses his first Pokemon. Rattata comes down, looking pretty okay at this point, level 15, not too much to worry about unless it gets a crit, maybe a flinch with the Hyper Fang, but Butterfree completely dismantles the rat, and now we're down to 2 Pokemon and Abra. Oh, this poor Abra only has teleport at this point in the game, so although confusion's not very effective, we're not afraid, but we lean into tackle since Abra has nothing as far as physical defense is concerned, and that only leaves the glorious and cute and cuddly little Bulbasaur here, who is super effective to our confusions. However, clutches the sleep powder with that 75% accuracy, does not have compound eyes, but does not care. However, as far as attacking moves go, it only has a 4 times not very effective Vine Whip, but leans into the Leaf Seed, which will actually do a ton of damage each turn upon healing the Bulbasaur as well. So we're going to take this opportunity to swap into the Beedrill, getting a much more advantageous matchup. We lean into the Twin Needle, which is neutral, given the Poison Grass typing, and Bulbasaur is deleted. Our rival is defeated, and we are underway. And that means we make our way all the way down to SS Anne here. We get the ticket that Bill gave us, and that means we run into our rival once again. His level's looking a little bit higher, but we've got to try to respect that level 24 level cap, given Lieutenant Surge is right after this. So we put the Pigeon to sleep. We drop back with the confusion. We've been here before. We've done this before. The confusion comes down. We rinse, repeat, get 2 confusions, make it a critical hit, make it a fadeaway as Pidgeotto goes down. The Raticate comes down. Now, Raticate is a little bit more scary than Rattata, but we still outspeed given the level discrepancy. The sleep powder connects, and now the rat is sleeping on the job. Confusion comes down, and we're gonna need about 3 of those to make this dream a reality. Another confusion comes down. Yuzu drops back with another fadeaway crit. This Butterfree does not care. However, the Kadabra comes down, we outspeed and get the sleep powder down, and I do not believe Synchronize works with sleep, so that works out really well for us. We're going to swap into Yui, our tiny little Paris here, who actually is in trouble now because Kadabra wakes up with the confusion. We were hoping we could get that Leech Life in and not risk the Beedrill. However, that was a terrible play as Kadabra wakes up and is ready for more. Kinesis comes down, and this could be very pivotal if we can't hit this sleep powder, but we do. We see through the Kinesis and we land the sleep powder. So now we can just fade with a potentially a tackle like we did against the Abra. I don't know why I still want that confusion. Maybe I'm just scared because Butterfree's physical attack is not high, but really looking back at this, we could have just risked the tackle, I think. Now Kadabra is confused though and sees through and goes for a disable, but misses, and there was nothing to disable. So we were fine there. We actually completely lucked out of this. On top of that, we didn't want to over level the Butterfree, so maybe that's what we were trying to do here as the Ivysaur comes down level 20, but now everybody is good. Everybody is under level 25. Ivysaur wants it all with the Leech Seed though. Can Beedrill see through this? Sagiri drops back with another Twin Needle, gets one, gets two, and now Ivysaur is in prime position. However, lands the Sleep Powder, and now we are asleep while the late seed is ticking away. Do we continue to roll these sleep turns as the late seed ticks, or do we swap back into another Pokemon? And that is exactly what we do. Paris comes in, Yui is here, the Vine Whip does absolutely no damage. We drop back with a scratch, but the Sleep Powder lands again, and this Ivysaur is absolutely intimidating. It's probably going to go for another Vine Whip here, as it is 4 times not very effective, does no damage, so Yui can just sit here and just chill as we drop back with a scratch. We're gonna need 2 on top here as the Oranberry comes in for a little bit of a reprieve, but this Ivysaur is God mode with the Sleep Powder, is absolute God mode. We fade away, our rival's ace drops, and now it is time for Lieutenant Surge. Alrighty, with our 3 team members left, do we have what it takes to take on Lieutenant Surge and his electric-type Pokemon? The Voltorb comes down. Yui has upgraded into the Parasect and learns Dig, so we are in prime position to take down this 3rd gym battle here. We drop back with a Dig, and Voltorb is deleted. Now, it did land a Screech before taking out the Pokeball here, so that might come back to haunt us as the Pikachu leans into the double team strats, trying to evade our digs. Parasect drops back underground, dodging the Thunder Wave, and comes back up with a monstrous dig, sees through the evasion, and takes down the cute mascot. That leads us to the ace, the big, formidable, level 24 Raichu, also leaning into the double team Daydream as we drop back with another dig, dodging yet another Thunder Wave, come up from underground into a monstrous dig, leaving Raichu with about 5 HP to its same Super Potion comes down, and we potentially overcome that deficit, but we lean into a Poison Powder to potentially tick away while we're leaning into those digs, and we miss 2 Poison Powders. We miss 3 Poison Powders. We are paralyzed. We're going to go back for another dig, risking it all. Another double team comes down. We are paralyzed and cannot move, and this fight is slipping through our fingers as we speak. Another double team comes down, and Raichu is completely evading. Another double team comes down, and Raichu's evasion is through the roof, but we see through it with a dig, and we fade away on the chubby Raichu. Let's go. 3 gym badges down. That was really scary, but we made it through, and I think we're going to call it there for this first episode. As always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you on the flip. Peace.